How many ACC schools will make the big dance this year? We're going to talk about it on 94 Feet of UNC.
Gordy to Black. The time, 18. Shot, Jordan! Michael Jordan!
Swicker with the defense and the rebound. That's a good effort by Swicker.
Stackhouse streaking in on Park. Rebound dunk is good, and he gets fouled by Park. Oh my goodness, what a dunk by Stackhouse.
I think that he brought him back so quickly, but you know what? Get down the it's very. You can't teach that high-rising ability. And Green rips down the rebound in traffic. 4-on-1. Great job. What a terrific job in transition. I mean, you could.
The glass no good. Rebound followed by Hansbrough. Good! Carolina.
Inside 30 overall. Love, top of the key.
Alice about this over. Carolina. The Tar Heels have won the national championship.
And that is it. There is a new team in college basketball. North Carolina takes the title. Captain, any fighter. North Carolina is the 2009 national champion. And this year, the confetti is going to flow for North Carolina. We're not going to be denied this time.
What is up, everybody? It is Thursday, September 12th. You are tuned in to the 94 Feet of UNC podcast. I am your host, Linzel Graham. I got a special guest in the building with me today. But before we get into the introduction of everything with him, everybody, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at 94 Feet of UNC. But make sure you definitely like and subscribe because you never know who may stop in at the Zeldome. As I've always said, like, got my man D, the Duke fan, is in the Zeldome today. He's a Duke fan, but we welcome all guests. You know what I'm saying? So, also 94 Feet of UNC podcast merchandise is coming soon. So make sure that y'all be on the watch for that. But in order to know, you got to make sure you follow me on Instagram and on Twitter and subscribe to the channel. Free giveaways and everything is going to be coming soon. So tap in, everybody. And I appreciate all the love and support from everybody that I've gotten thus far. My guest today is the Duke fan. D, what's up, my guy? How are you?
What's up, bro? Hey, man, I'm excited to be here, bro. I've seen you a bunch, watched all the videos. Glad to be a guest, man. Glad to be a guest. I love a good collab with a fellow basketball head, man. That's all I can say. Ready to get into it.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
I do got a few quarrels with that opening video. I don't know why you had to do with me like that, but it's okay. It's okay.
I know. Hey,
Danny,
listen,
that
man.
was a charge on Danny Green, by the way, but it's fine. It's fine.
Look, you the first one that has ever wanted to point that out or whatever the case may be. It's all good. I'm gonna let it rock. I'm gonna let it rock, D. You know what I'm saying? Like I've heard the same quarrels, I guess you could say, from Pablo and AC as well. But their thing is, is this a whole North Carolina versus Duke intro thing? And I'm like, nah, y'all just got a lot of the highlights. Like, I could have picked more, but I didn't want the video to be super long, right?
I'll give Danny Green this. He never lost to Duke.
Or Hansborough.
Oh, both of them. Yeah, you're right. Eesh.
Yeah.
Eesh.
And Hansborough went 4-0 in Cameron. I say that.
I think Danny Green did too.
You might be right. You absolutely might be right. I didn't think about Danny Green, but you might be right. I might have to fact check that, D. Like, hey,
real recognize real, man. You can't hate on him.
Hey, I get it. I understand. I totally understand. So, D, tell everybody, man, about yourself and what you got going on, man, and where you're from, or who you represent. Man. You know how it go.
A lot of people have probably seen me on the 5 Point Play podcast as a co-host. I've been doing that for over a year now. Born and raised in North Carolina, straight out of Apex. Huge Duke fan. mad respect to Carolina. A lot of people want to say, "Oh, you hate Carolina." No. I don't ever use that word. Iron sharpens iron. I don't necessarily like them, but I respect them because Duke wouldn't have 2,000 wins without Carolina, pushing them, from 8 miles away. So I just love basketball, man. I love ACC basketball. I love Duke. It has helped me out of a lot of dark times in my life. It has given me, something to look forward to. In my childhood as I was growing up, like I didn't have the best upbringing, I guess you could say, and just it, just something to look forward to, man. I'll never not love Duke. Like I saw, that's it.
Yeah, I got you. I can totally understand that, man. I'm big Heels fan, so of course, I mean, we share a lot of the same sentiments, I guess you could say, about our teams. I mean, just being a North Carolina Heels fan, like, listen, I totally understand where you're coming from, bro. Like, trust me, a lot of people don't, but when you're a part and you're a fan of the rivalry, I mean, it's hard for people to that are outside of that to understand what it is that we actually feel inside when it comes to these two prolific programs. Like, you know what I'm
I,
saying?
I
So,
was I would say I'd go farther than that. Even people who are Duke fans or Carolina fans who are not from the area,
right.
like and I tell my podcast guys, I said it hits different.
Yes.
It is different when you are in the middle of Wake County or Chatham County or Durham County or whatever the case may be. It's different. I promise
Yeah.
you, it's not the same type of vibe that it is in Philadelphia with Duke and Carolina fans that it is in Apex or Cary or Durham, whatever the case may be. It hits different. It hits
Yeah.
different. I tell you, it'll
Yeah.
divide friendships, families for a weekend. I mean, it it makes you pick who you marry. Like I'm telling you, it's wild.
Listen, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, it is a lot of. I don't think a lot of people know that it's actually also kind of like, and I hate to say it this way, but like, it's made people really like gangs fight against each other, like literal gangs. From what I heard, if I'm not mistaken, I think this was a while ago. I don't know if it's still the same, but in Chicago, one gang wears Carolina, the other gang wears Duke. Now, I don't know. I know back in the days that was very accurate, and I knew
Right.
about it for sure. I don't know if it's still the same now, but I do know back in the days, yes, it was one gang was Carolina, one gang was Duke, and it's like the hate, of course, between. I don't want to use the word hate either because
Right.
we as actual fans we view it different. It's just a rivalry to us. But outside of that, it gets a little tricky, man. So that was just a wild story that I heard a long time ago, man, where I'm like, wow, gangs are now wearing Carolina and Duke. Like, so if I go to Chicago, you mean to tell me being a Tar Heel fan, like because I'm an actual fan that I can't wear my team and represent them? Like,
Wear some gray or something. I don't even
bro, I was like, well, what do I wear? Like,
pull up in Wake Forest gear or something in between. I don't know.
get some Syracuse or something going on up in here, some Notre Dame or something. DePaul.
Something.
Let's get DePaul up in here.
Yeah, it ain't even worth it at that
Sure.
point. Good
Yeah,
gracious.
man. Yeah, it's crazy, man. So, but it's all good, man. So, as D said, man, he's a part of the 5 Point Play podcast. Major shout out to them guys over there, man. As you all already know, if you've been an avid listener since day one, or in passing, and you might have caught a couple of episodes. My guy Pablo has been on the show, of course, being a special guest. AC has been on the show, of course, whatever. Now I got D on the show, whatever. So big shout out to them guys over there. Even if you're not a Duke fan, or even if you are a Tar Heel fan, I support these
Check
brothers.
this
You
out.
know what I'm saying? These my guys right here. Even though we rivals, but I support these brothers. So y'all get over there. Make sure y'all support them as well, man. Like show them some love over there, whatever. Get in the chats, talk some trash. Let them know that I sent you. You know, they not, yeah, they not gonna bother y'all. If they do, let me know because I got y'all. Like I ride for my family.
I got numbers. I got phone numbers.
Yeah. So you know it is what it is. But D, man, let's get into this, man. How many ACC schools will make the big dance this year? How many you think?
Before we've ever seen a game yet. Right. I think this is a deep ACC pool this year, and I could see. I think so. I really do. I really do. And we'll get into some of your questions later, but without giving anything away, I think 6 to 7 is highly likely. I think the ACC has been kind of disrespected by the national media and this Ken Palm and this quad system, which I don't understand because all I want is for somebody to just show me the formula. I'll respect the quad system. Just show me the formula. You know what I'm saying? Like I can understand ERA in baseball because they show you the formula. So we just got a bunch of people sitting around the table going, you quad 1, you quad 2, you quad 3. I can't vibe with that. But I do think that it's not fair that the ACC beats up on each other and they get punished, and the SEC beats up on each other and they are like, oh man, well, it's the SEC, right?
Or the Big 12, right? Right.
Yeah, like it just doesn't vibe with me. It doesn't make sense. So I just want to see the formula. But yeah, 6 to 7, I think is probably what we're looking at. I think we got a lot of really good teams, really good coaches this year.
Okay, so let's see. Before I ask you what teams you got in mind, let me see. Let me just throw my number out there. I'm right there. I'm right there. I'm right there at 6 or 7. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Now that I sit back and I think about them a little bit or whatever, let me make sure I'm just not missing. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Possibly 8, but I doubt that.
I almost said 8. But the ACC always makes a run to the Elite 8. We had what, 4 teams in the Elite 8 last year?
Absolutely. No, 4 teams in the Sweet 16.
3 in the Elite 8.
Yes.
Or am I wrong? 3, yes. 3, right?
3 in the Elite 8, 4 in the Sweet 16.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Those numbers are good.
And you know what? We're like that every year.
I know. That's why I don't get this quad system. I don't get it.
Now, I will say this with the quad system. Now, the only thing that I do know is, I think if a team is ranked in the top 50, maybe top 60, then those are like considered like quad 1 wins. But anything that's anything past that, I think might be starting to be like quad 2, but it might be top 30 or something like that. And I think they base it off of that. And then I don't know either. I haven't figured the quad system out yet either. So
I like the eye test. Like, use your eyes. How much basketball did you watch? Can these dudes ball? Can they not ball? Do they deserve to be here? Do they not deserve to be here? That's my thing.
Yeah. Okay. So now give me your 6 and your possible 6 and a possible.
All right. So we got Duke, UNC, Clemson, Miami. I think Wake Forest is going to be good. Okay. I think Clemson's still going to be good. I think NC State's still going to be good. I really like Georgia. I really like Georgia Tech
Okay.
and what Stoudemire's doing. And I think Louisville is going to make the biggest jump in college basketball this year. I really do.
Okay. Wasn't expecting one of them now. I'm not gonna lie to you, D. I was not thinking about Miami. I really wasn't thinking about Miami. They lost everybody.
Yeah, but
I
they,
was
I mean,
I was not thinking
Miami's
that.
not going to be bad for long. I mean, they've got such a good coach. They're 2 years removed from a Final Four. They're just not a bad basketball program. They're just
But
not.
but after this year, I think he retires.
I agree. He's on his way out. He's on his
Yeah,
way out,
yeah.
and
So
he's going to be missed because he's a good one.
yeah. And now that's another topic for later because I want to. I'll jump into that a little bit later. As a matter of fact, we might talk about that on Thursday on the 5-point play.
Say that.
We might talk about that. I got to make sure I don't forget that point. But
Okay.
the ones that I had, of course, Carolina, Duke, Clemson, Wake Forest, Louisville, and then after that, I am borderline with Georgia Tech, State, and gosh, what's the
Pittsburgh.
last? No, it wasn't Pitt.
Pittsburgh
Pitt.
was on my bubble.
I don't see Pitt like that.
They're this close. They're this close.
They lost a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, who doesn't these days with the portal?
Carolina don't.
No, they got to go to the
We got a great
retirement home, man.
retention plan. We
gotta go.
I mean, we got a great retention plan. Like, I mean, what retain?
10-year
My
vet.
bad. Yeah.
10-year vet.
Okay. All right. Let's move. I'm not gonna. I can't with you, man. I can't with you. All right. So yeah, I'm right at about 6. But the Georgia Tech is right on the borderline. State is right on the borderline. Although I do think State might surprise a lot of people this year. I think State's going
I
to
do
be
too.
right up there in the top 6.
Yeah, I don't think last year was a fluke for State. I think that they're about to stamp we're in the top 25 consistently, stamp. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. You got to let's let it play out. But I just feel like that with the pieces that they put back from what they lost, like from the dude from Louisville, and I really like the coach. I think he's got good vibes. Like, I don't know who wouldn't want to play for him.
I can't stand Kevin Keith.
I think he's a really good dude, man. Like, he's a fun guy. Like, it doesn't shock me that he can go into a living room and recruit a kid. It really don't.
I'm not a fan of Kevin Keith at all. Like, I'm just not. But though I just have my reasons. But I'd say State is they on the borderline. They are on the borderline with because I think Georgia Tech is gonna. I would give more of the edge to State before I give it to Georgia Tech. Considering Tech just lost Miles Kelly, Tyjon Claude, who's now at UNC.
Yeah, big pickup for them, by the way.
Absolutely.
Big pickup.
Absolutely. So we'll have to see. But I got those 5 for sure: Carolina, Duke, Clemson, Louisville, and Wake Forest for sure.
I will say this: I'm glad to see Wake Forest doing well. My grandpa was a huge Wake Forest fan.
Yes.
And the ACC is always better when those 4 in-state schools can go in to each other's home and absolutely compete.
Yeah.
Like, coin flip compete. Like, that is fun basketball. It just makes.
And I like Steve Forbes. Yeah, and I like Steve
What a,
Forbes.
what a slam dunk hire for them, man. Just an
Oh man,
absolute slam dunk hire.
for sure, for
I
sure.
mean, like for real.
Yeah,
I have a feeling he's about to dominate in-state recruiting. I really think he might.
that's possible. That's possible. In state, you said, yeah, that's possible. I could see that. I can see that, especially if they do what they need to do this year.
Make a run. Yeah. Make
Yeah,
the tournament. I
yeah,
mean, I thought they were going to win the NIT.
yeah,
I really did.
yeah.
He's a
It's
great
kind of
coach, man.
between
He's a good dude.
them and Clemson are always right on that borderline. Always right on that borderline. So I
Clemson
mean,
might not be going away for a minute, though.
Clemson's got a really good team. They really got
Yeah.
a good team. Even though they may have lost Gerard and
PJ.
PJ, but Shefflin, Wiggins, they just picked up Zachary from Boston College.
Mm-hmm.
Who else they got? Chase Hunter.
I wrote
They
it
got
down
a
somewhere.
yeah. They got a nice squad, man. Now, I mean, I don't know
Yeah,
what the
they're not.
bench is gonna look like, but yeah,
And
yeah,
Brownell can coach, man. He can really coach.
he can. He
He
can.
finds a way to motivate those kids, and that's really all you can ask for.
Yeah, yeah. I like Brad. I like Brad. You could tell when he gets upset though, like he kind of puts it out there. He's kind of like Forbes a little bit.
Yeah.
He's just like Forbes. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're the two. They're the ones that are tired of sitting on the fence instead of actually now just jumping over the fence and getting over it. Like they're tired of sitting on the fence. Like they're sitting there beside each other, like, like, man, I'm just ready to get down from here. Like, Carolina's down there, Duke is down there. Like, what is Louisville gonna do? Are they just gonna jump right over? Like, they're tired of
Okay.
sitting on the fence, and I'm tired of them sitting on the fence. Like,
The same. And I feel like they're going into
man,
these living rooms and talking to these kids, and they're like, "You didn't get an offer from Duke. You didn't get an offer from Carolina. Why don't you come on down here to Clemson? Why don't you come on up here to Winston-Salem and let's get it cracking."
yeah, yeah. It's gonna be interesting, man. I can't wait for this season, man. This
It's gonna
season
be
is
fun,
gonna be
man.
amazing.
It's gonna be so fun.
This is really going to be fun and amazing. A lot of big games. Like oh man. I just can't wait. I cannot wait. I can't wait for sure. D, let me ask you this. How did you really just become a Duke fan? Like that's what I want to know that.
It's weird. I can't think of like one specific thing. None of my family. I was raised by my grandparents. My grandpa he grew up in an orphanage in Wake Forest when Wake Forest was in Raleigh. So
Yeah.
he used to tell me stories about like sneaking out and listening to like the radio call for the football team, like literally like while he was sitting on the fence of the orphanage. My grandma graduated from state, and I don't know, maybe I just wanted to be a punk kid or something. I don't
The oddball, the outcast.
Yeah. But like I will never forget like one of my first basketball memories that I could like really remember once I started, learning basketball was that Jeff Capel half court shot where Ricky Price caught the ball as it came. And UNC ended up winning that game. I'll give it to you. UNC won that game, but like Duke was bad that year. Like they were bad.
Yeah.
And Capel hit that shot. Ricky Price caught it out as it came from the basket, and I was like, "This is amazing. This is it."
Yeah.
And I've always just been a Duke fan. Like people recognize me as that guy right there, Duke guy, big Duke guy. Like
Yeah.
And I never looked back, man. I never looked. And like I said, like, growing up was kind of tough.
Mhm.
No, mom and dads weren't really in the picture, and um, grandpa was always working on the farm, and grandma was busting it, and I all I did was hoop, because we couldn't afford to do anything else. So
Yeah.
I got a basketball, and I would dribble it around, and I would, go to the local park here in Apex, and that's just I just fell in love with it, man, and it was
Yeah.
it was an escape. It was an escape for me that I knew 2 times a year, every winter, Duke was gonna play basketball. Like,
Yeah.
they weren't gonna leave, they weren't gonna miss no birthdays, no Christmases. They was gonna be there 2 times a year,
Yeah.
and it was just, something that made me feel, I don't know, normal, I guess. Like, I could go back to school the next day, and we could just talk about basketball, and not, like, what throwing footballs with your dad or whatever. Like, I just talk about
Right.
basketball.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
no, I mean, I ain't trying to make it a sad story or anything, but like
Nah.
that's really like how like it was truly like my escape
Yeah.
from reality. Like, I could sit down for 2 hours and just be a basketball fan.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm the same way, man. I love college more than I love NBA. Not a
Same.
big NBA guy like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. And I think a lot of the reasons is because like the NBA is just really ego driven. These players now they making 200 something $1 million, so naturally they don't want to get look at Kawhi Leonard want to get out there. He don't even want to get out there. Like
No, yeah, yeah.
but he wants to make all of these millions and millions and millions of dollars. And to me, it's just boring, but it's entertainment. Like they're not really out there just playing. Whereas in college, these guys is actually playing for something. Like they're playing for draft pick, or they're playing to win a national championship. They're playing for you know individual accolades. Like they are. It's a lot that they play for versus these in the NBA that's just they just want to make these millions and millions and millions of dollars. And to be honest with you, I hope college doesn't turn out to end up being like the NBA because of now NIL and things like that. Like I like the NIL situation. However, at the same time, I think NIL needs to be regulated a little bit
Yeah,
because
we got to rein it in. It's the wild, wild west. It really is.
yeah,
It's the wild, wild west. I like
yeah,
like you said. I don't hate it. In fact, I think it was needed. But we've got to find a way to figure it out. And I don't have an answer. Like, I'm not smart enough to give you a suggestion or to give you an answer. But
yeah.
somebody's got to figure it out.
It's got to
And
be
it's not going to be
regulated, though,
the
B.
and it ain't going to be the NCAA. Let's be honest, because
Well, that's
they've
true.
they've swung and missed on everything that they've ever tried to do.
That's a fact.
So,
That's a fact. But
um,
it's got to be regulated, though, man. It's got to be regulated because you take, for instance, you got these teams out here. You got your Alabamas, you got your Kansas, you got your BYU's, who we've been hearing that are offering
Oregon,
players $5 million. Like, what are we doing here? Like, no, to me, I'm sorry, but no kid, no young man, I don't even want to call him a kid, should be making $5 million to play. Like, and you going to a school for 1 year? Nah, bro. Nah, I don't even see you making that in 4 years in a college. Like, I mean, look at RJ Davis. He's been there for 5 years, and to my knowledge, RJ is making close to like 1.5, maybe, but he's built that. That's
yeah,
been built up. That's not something that Carolina gave him. So I think at some point it does have to be it's got to be regulated, man. And they got to figure something out in that case because nowadays these players are not going to want to go to your Carolinas or your Dukes or, places like that. They're going to go to these other schools or whatever because these schools are offering the money instead of actually going to a school where they really want to go to and play for. Like, what are they going to be able to tell their kids when they get older and things like that? Oh, well, hey, I grew up a Duke fan, but I ended up going to BYU because BYU gave me more money.
Right.
But
No, I mean, you're right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, do you want to play for the school or you here to play for the money? Because if you play for the school, the money's going to come eventually anyway if you're that good. And if you ain't that good, then I understand it. But you got to figure something out, man. I just think that it has to be regulated, and I'm tired of some of these podcasts just talking. They're making it, especially when it comes to Carolina, like UNC ain't got no money. And I've said this several times in several podcast episodes in the past that these narratives that some of these podcasts are pushing about UNC don't have no money is ridiculous. We're talking about UNC. Just because we've missed out on players don't mean that Carolina ain't got no money.
Yeah, if Leaky Black can get an NIL deal at UNC, anybody can. Get out of here.
I mean, I just don't understand it. Like, I do not understand why people want to throw that out there. And what that's going to end up doing is that's going to get into the minds of some of these other high school players that want to come to Carolina. But when they hear things like that, they're going to be like, wait a minute. Carolina ain't got no money? Oh, I ain't going there. I'm going over here. I'm going to Kentucky. I'm going to NC State.
That's just like you said. It's them listening to people and not expanding. It's like your UNC fans like not listening to our podcast because we're Duke fans, right? So they don't want to hear what we got to say. They're only going to listen to like a Carolina podcast, and they're kids, man. And I don't want to say kids like my 12-year-old kid, but they're 17-year-old kids, bro. They're not making the best decisions for them, and that's why like they need good role models, they need good coaches, like somebody to just help them along. And I think Bart Scott on that 30 for 30 years and years and years ago said it best. He was like, I got drafted 5th overall. I got like a $3.5 million signing bonus, and he didn't even know how to open a bank account. He went to like one of those quick check places because he didn't even know. He didn't even know.
Crazy.
And he goes, if these schools owe it to these kids who they know are going to be here for 1 to 2 years and are going to make multi-million-dollar, you need to teach them some financial responsibility. Teach them how to write a check. Teach them how to open a bank account. Like teach them how to invest right and not, like not go crazy. Because like you said, a 17-year-old probably doesn't need $5 million. That might not be the most responsible thing to do. But then on the other side of me, I feel like, I don't know, if somebody said, hey, if you come sign these autographs at this car dealership for 2 weekends, I'll break off like, 1.2 for you. I couldn't say no to it.
I agree.
That's generational wealth. I can feed my great grandkids with that.
I mean, that's I agree to that. It's a little different though, because let's put it like this. All right. So everybody knows who the guy is that BYU is offering $5 million to. It's AJ DeBanza, right? Let's say BYU does give AJ $5 million. But you didn't get it. You didn't gave all of your money to one player, the star player. You're not going to be good as a team.
Right.
You can't get no other players in there because you didn't gave all the money to him. And he's only going to be there for 1 year. That's not smart, BYU. It's like you're trying to buy a championship, but why? You want because you just want that player to come there? I don't think AJ DeBanza is actually going to BYU.
I don't think so
Just
either.
don't.
But I mean,
Yeah,
for $5 million, I probably would, if I'm gonna be honest with you.
I
Just to
can't.
keep
I
it a
don't know
buck.
about. I don't know about that. Listen, I don't know about that. I'd rather go somewhere to. Okay, let me ask you this. I'll ask you this because then we'll move on.
All right.
1.2 to 1.5 million to come to Carolina, or 5 million to go to BYU.
Just for 1 year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The fact that you
As a Carolina kid, as somebody who grew up in North Carolina, I probably wouldn't want to go that far away from home. As a
be
17-year-old kid,
objective. No, be objective.
I don't think I could
Be
turn down
objective.
that $5 million though. What if you tear an ACL or blow an Achilles or God forbid, like something like Harry Giles happens to you, but you
D.
still got that. I'm just.
There's no way. There's no way. There is no. The fact that you even had to sit and think about it already tells you right there that Carolina is the option, because you know what going to
Yeah,
Carolina
fair point.
brings.
That's a fair point.
You
That's a
know
fair
what
point.
Carolina brings, like free
Opportunity.
Jordans
I
for
mean,
free Jordans for the
yeah,
rest of your life. I mean, you're gonna get a lot of recognition and be on TV because they're
every time the
nationally
ball is in the
televised.
air. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, what are we talking about?
No, you're right. You're right. You're right. But a 17-year-old kid doesn't think about that when they just see dollar signs.
But his dad is the one that's his agent or managing him.
That's a sticky situation too. And I
That's
think
all
that's
I'm
kind of what
saying.
Bart Scott. I think that's kind of what Bart Scott was getting at in that 30 for 30. It's just
I don't know, man.
NIL is getting gross. NIL is getting gross. Let's just put it that
It
way.
is.
It's getting
It
gross.
is.
It needed to happen, but we've got to figure out some sort of salary cap. Maybe I don't know.
It has to be regulated. It has to be. At some point, it's got to be regulated. And the problem is, it's going to get worse before it gets better, because the NCAA is always, they're like 5, almost 10 years behind.
No, they're tied up in
They
court
don't
right
make
now. They can't talk about it. They don't.
Exactly. So it's going to get worse before by the time that they want to decide to try and make it better, they're not going to be able to fix it. They're not going to be able to fix it, and it's going to mess a lot of things up. And I'm gonna tell you, that's when a lot of coaches might end up retiring, because of the fact, I think a lot of them use that NIL to their benefit, as they should, but at the same time, that kind of gets into the coaching situation and what coaches do, who's great coaches and who's not, and things like that. I have my
I think a
own
lot of
list
coaches.
of that.
I think a lot of coaches have already retired because of it. I'll put Roy and Kay on it.
Yeah, but we got more. There's more.
Oh, they're coming.
There's more. And the only reason why they haven't retired,
Boeheim, Jay Wright. I mean,
but there's some that needs to retire now. That's just it.
You're not wrong.
It is what it is. And there's a lot of them that a lot of these people out here, they call greats. They not greats, bro. They not greats at all. Why? Because they got a chip. That don't label you a great.
No.
That don't label you a great at all. But I digress. That's a whole nother topic, D.
Yeah, we're bringing that up on Thursday. I'm gonna eat that. We're bringing that up on Thursday.
Yeah. Because I break it. Trust me, on Thursday, I'm gonna break it down for you.
All right, we're ready.
And we'll talk behind the scenes. We'll talk behind the scenes or whatever. But I'm gonna break it down for you on Thursday.
Say that.
Trust me, you're gonna be like, you know what? I get that. I understand that. As a matter of fact, I talked about it and discussed it on some of my past episodes, but that's neither here nor there. Like I said, we'll talk though. We'll talk. Let's move on, D. Let me ask you this.
Let's
All
go.
right, so
Go
tough
ahead.
question. I want you to. I'm trying to figure out. Do I want to do college basketball, or do I want to do ACC, or do I want to do Duke? We're not gonna do
Cooper,
college
whatever.
basketball. Let's not do college basketball. We're not gonna do ACC. I'm gonna put you in the hot seat for a second. I'm gonna put you in the
Okay.
hot seat for a second. Objectively, who is your overrated player and who is your underrated player on the Duke Blue Devils this season? Don't worry, Duke fans ain't gonna beat you up. They're not gonna beat you up, D. I got
My
you.
podcast co-host might, but it's okay.
I'm not worried about them either. I'm not worried about them either.
Underrated player. I'm gonna probably Caleb Foster, Con Knipple. He doesn't like to be called Con though. Call him Connie or K2. Overrated. Shoosh. I'm not. You want me to say Cooper Flag, but I'm not fitting to sit here and say Cooper Flag. That dude's a generation.
I didn't say a
He's
word, D.
generational
What
talent.
makes you think I wanted you to say
I
that?
told you the overrated one is really tough for me because I love.
If you didn't say one, I had another one in mind that I'm surprised you didn't say. But
I think Isaiah Evans is an amazing shot creator. I think he's the only person, not the only, one of the only people on Duke's roster who can create his own shot off the ball, either pull up jumper, take you to the rack, jump over you, what have you. I think he might be a little overrated. He never played. He was only a public school kid. Yes, he was on an AAU team. Yes, he did the EYBL circuit and all that. But I think he might be overrated. And I'm saying that and that's my son's favorite Duke player at the moment. He keeps asking me to buy him an Isaiah Evans jersey, and I'm like, son, they haven't made them yet. You gotta wait for them to get printed. Like we have to pull the reins back. We gotta print them first. But I think if I had to say somebody, I would say I'm Isaiah Evans, and that's with all the respect in the world.
so
Who are you thinking?
on Duke,
Yeah, and then I want you to tell me UNC's.
I knew you was gonna do that. I knew you was gonna do that. Okay, I'll tell you this for Duke, because now you want me to give you an underrated too, or you just want my overrated?
Both.
Okay, underrated. I think it's Sion.
Underrated
James.
for Duke. Underrated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Overrated. I got 3.
Go ahead.
I got Tyrese Proctor.
Oh, good. Oh my goodness.
I got, now that you've mentioned it about Isaiah Evans, I can see Evans on that list. And I got Cooper Flag.
Okay. That's bold.
I just think Cooper is I think he's a little, I think it's too much hype. I think it's too much hype for him. Like I just, it never goes well for a player with a lot of hype and pressure on them. That's a lot of pressure. Look at it happened to Zion.
I think he can handle it though. Zion wasn't really. Zion could barely, like, he didn't even want to be on camera when he chose Duke. on ESPN. Like he looked uncomfortable just being on camera. He's a shy kid. You know what I'm saying? Like Cooper Flagg looks like he wants that attention.
I think he may want it, but I think he's going. You're gonna run into somebody the wrong way or whatever in a game or whatever because of all of this hype and stuff behind you, and it's not gonna go the best for you.
No, the other teams are coming hard for you, for real.
Like if you look at if you look at UNC, you put Drake Powell on Cooper, dog. Like
love Drake Powell, love Drake Powell.
It's gonna be a long night for Cooper.
Did you ever see him in high school?
I did
at Northwood. Oh my goodness gracious, that was must see TV, bro. That was must see TV. He is really good, man. He is really good at basketball.
He's going to be a problem.
I disagree with you on the Zion James thing. Like, I think Zion James is like, how do you underrate somebody who got himself out of the NBA draft to come play for Duke? Like, you can't.
The reason why I got him underrated is because I think that I don't think a lot of people, because
like the casual people, like the casual fans.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think
they
really know what they have in him. Him being 6'3", I think he's 6'3". He might be 6'4"
or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But I mean, the boy is big.
He's a monster.
Strong. Dude. He is a ox.
And that's why I said Connie. That's why I said Connie. People don't get like.
But he's a freshman.
I understand. I know. But he would. I couldn't say Zion, and I thought about him, but he left the draft because John was like, "You want to play for Duke?"
He's going to get some. Listen, some of them guys on Duke ain't getting no playing time like that this year. D. It's going to be
interesting, man. It's going to be really, really interesting, and me and the homies have already talked about that. Like, we've wanted depth for so long, and now we've got all this depth, and we're like, okay. So there's only 40 minutes in a game, and you can only have 5 people out there at a time. This will be John's most impressive coaching that we've seen yet.
I'll say this: he's got some pressure on him.
100%.
I'll tell you.
He's always going to have pressure on him.
Yeah, but no, he really has some pressure on him. Like to me this year, and the reason why is because you brought in Mason Gillis, you brought in Sion, you brought in Malik Brown. Who else did you bring in?
3 studs.
Sheffield?
One. No, he went somewhere else. I thought he went to
Sheffield. Y'all just
no. We got Sheffield. We got Sheffield.
Yeah.
I was thinking of somebody else.
Oh, so you brought all of them guys in, and then on top of that, you got Caleb Foster, you got Tyrese Proctor, right? Those are really your vets, right? Now, all of your freshmen. What you got? 6? Khan, Coop, Isaiah, Malawak,
Harris,
and
Big Pat. I can't say Big Pat. I can't say
Ndako, something like that. Ndongo.
I get picked on by Pablo every time I try to say his name, so I just call him Big Pat.
Yeah, I got you. So you got 6, right?
Right.
Who gets the playing time? Because
I think Khan starts. I've said that since last year.
The reason why I say John's going to have pressure is because we already know Cooper is gone after this year.
Sure.
You might even lose Khan.
I think Khan's gone too.
You might lose Malawak.
I think he should go. Yeah.
And then you're going to lose Gillis, Sion, What is Malik Brown? Is he his 5th year?
Malik's gone. I think he's a graduate student, isn't he?
I think so. So you're losing him. You're probably gonna lose
Proctor, Foster.
You think you're gonna? I don't know about Foster. I don't know.
Here's the thing. Like let's say, remember 2015, Duke wins the championship. Nobody thought they were going to win it. Tyus Jones would have never gone to the NBA had they not won that championship. Right?
Okay.
So you have to go when your stock is high. So if Duke wins a chip, yeah, it's a mass exodus situation. I mean, it's complete rebuild, ground up. But I'm impressed.
I think if you don't win the chip, it's a mass exodus. Because
I hate
a lot of and the reason why is because a lot of those young freshmen like Isaiah Evans, Harris, Ndongo, whatever.
I think Harris
Pat,
is going.
whatever.
Big Pat is staying. I think Harris stays because they want to play with Jordan Smith. I think Jordan Smith is going to end up going to Duke also. He's a Paul VI guy. So you reunite those three.
That's possible, but then you got to worry about transfers because if them guys ain't gonna get if they're not gonna get no playing time this year, and now you don't rub them the wrong way, and then you start bringing in some other ones like okay, let's hypothetically say you get Nate Ament, Jordan Smith.
I think both of them will go to Duke.
Let's say you get what?
We get Nate and Jordan.
I don't know about that. And let's say you get a Caden Lewis. Where does that leave room for like Harris and like a lot of them guys? They transferring, man. They're not sticking around because they don't think they're gonna get. If Nate Ament and a Caden Lewis come in, they're starting over Harris and probably some other guys or whatever. It's gonna rub players the wrong way.
It'll be more interesting if the Boozer brothers go to Duke because now we've got some issues. Now we've got something to talk about. But I think like I talked to Darren Harris. Like, he was on the pod. He's all in. I mean he's all in. And if you could link him and Jordan and Big Pat back together, that's a dominant 3 squad. I mean that's a squad that took Montverde to the brink of elimination until they just ran away with it in the 4th.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's see this is where the transfer portal gets sticky.
Yeah.
Because John did an immaculate job, and Duke fans for a few years now have been like, John can't do the transfer portal right, and now he's crushed it. Now he crushed the transfer portal, correct? Like the dudes he brought in, defensive player of the year, a first round NBA pick, and a dude who dominated Duke and got ejected for throwing elbows.
Who?
Didn't Malik Brown got ejected or he got not ejected. He got a double or a like a tech or something like that.
Malik Brown is a little overrated, dog. I mean, he's just a big body to me.
But that's that's a big body who's going to give you he'll give 5 fouls. Like, and I kept screaming that last year about like Mark Mitchell. Like, you have 5 fouls to give, dude. There's no reason you played 38 minutes and you only have 0. Like, you have 0 fouls. I mean, what are you doing?
True.
Like, like smack somebody to the ground one time, dude. Let them know that if you come to this rim,
I don't think Gillis is going to play. I don't think he plays like that. I think his minutes are very limited, which I'm shocked he went to Duke. Like, I see a lot of other guys starting before him. Probably.
That's that money, dude. Why would you leave it? If you know you're a first round draft pick, why would you leave and go to Duke?
But he wasn't a first round.
You don't think Zion was going to be first round?
No, Mason.
Oh, no, I was talking about Zion then. Like, Zion James, I feel like he was a first round draft pick.
Now, he might have been. See, I didn't keep up with him like that in the draft and stuff like that. But Mason shouldn't have left Purdue. I mean,
I think he graduated. He had to.
no, he didn't. This is his 5th year. He could have stayed.
Oh, he had the COVID year. I keep forgetting about COVID years. This is the last of the COVID years, y'all. Let's just put it that way. This is the last.
You know why?
I
think Gillis decided to leave because of Purdue really thought that they was gonna get Cannon Ketchen, and he turned around and went to BYU. I think.
Yeah, Purdue's in a full rebuild situation right now.
Yeah, they got a lot of hype built up around them as well. Like I'm not feeling Purdue at all. I'm not feeling Purdue at all. Now, all right. So real quick, I'll go through mine.
It is going to be super interesting to see how the coaching staff handles the amount of talent. I mean, we're talking about 6, 7, potentially 8 NBA players on that team right now. Correct?
On Duke's team?
Yeah.
You talk about next year, like next year NBA players?
Just in general. Just in general.
Oh, in general.
Your starting 5.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I only see maybe 3, 4.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 3, 4 that make it in the league, but I feel like there's probably 5, 6, 7 that'll get drafted.
I don't think so. If you ask me as far as who I think will make it, and it is up in the air in regards to if they succeed in the NBA on a couple of them. Like, to be honest with you, I don't think Proctor lasts in the NBA if he even goes. I don't think Caleb Foster lasts in the NBA if he even goes. I don't think Sion lasts in the NBA like that. Now, does he get drafted? Possibly. Mason Gillis, not making it in the NBA. Malik Brown, not making it in the NBA. Harris, yet to be seen. Don't really know too much about him. Cooper Flagg, possibly, yeah. I mean, that's Cooper Flagg. I mean, whatever. Khan, he's borderline making it in the NBA. I mean, he's borderline. Will he get drafted? Probably. Making it long term successfully is yet to be seen. What is it? Malawak, the center.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think he makes it like that in the NBA.
You don't
because
think so?
Right now, I don't think so. Unless he develops a game like Wemby. But if he don't develop no game like Wemby, he's not making it, bro. There's no
He's got a decent shot.
Name me one center in the league right now in the NBA.
Well, I have this discussion with basketball fans all the time. Like, basketball is cyclical. Like, we have gone through an era where this is positionless basketball, and we are slowly transitioning back into where we have dominant guards and a dominant big. We're slowly transitioning. It's like a clock, and we're working our way back to positions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe not so much, but we're gonna have a dominant guard, and we're gonna have a dominant big, and then a bunch of wings. And that's kind of how I see UNC's team this year. Like, they're almost scary with Drake Powell and Ian Jackson. Like, if they could figure it out together, like, that's an old school UNC, like, we're going to jump over you type team.
That is true. But as far as if you want to say big men, no, Malawak does not last. Do you think Zach Edey is going to last in the NBA?
Absolutely not. But he can't shoot a jump shot.
And neither can Malawak.
But he can.
Yet to be seen. I don't know his
I,
game like
I
that
I'll
enough
say,
to
I'll
say
say
that.
this.
So,
I think Big Pat has better hands and is a better passer at the moment, but I think Malawak has a higher ceiling, but Big Pat has a lower floor, if that makes sense.
it's gonna be interesting for me to see Duke. I want to really see because I can't base it off of these highlights that I've been seeing throughout the offseason.
No, we're gonna
I
have to
can't.
see a game. I
Yeah,
will
I
say
got to
this.
see it in game.
I think we're gonna see a lot of scenarios where some players aren't gonna play as much one game because of whoever else we're playing has, bigs or a bunch of wings or something like that, and we have to go with a smaller lineup. And Cooper plays
Yeah,
maybe Coop plays the center position for a second or something like that, and you've got your Isaiah Evans and Sion James and Khan out there and stuff like that. But I just feel like there's so many different lineups that Duke can throw at you where they're going to put you in a mismatch. It's gonna be tough to handle them.
it
And if
it
and
it,
if one
it
guy
is.
and if one guy's not cooking, then okay, next NBA player up, get in there and see what you got.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's gonna be interesting or whatever. Like, I mean, to see what Duke does this year and see how John is going to maneuver these lineups and and things like that and switch them up and everything. So I'm interested in it. I'm interested in it. Now, to answer your question real quick, just going back, my over and underrated players on our team, on UNC's team. I don't know if I haven't overrated though, because I think everybody is right where they're supposed to be. Like, to be honest with you, I don't. Nobody is really getting a lot of the hype like some of these other players out here in college basketball is. Like Ian Jackson, yeah, but everybody knows what Ian Jackson can do. Everybody knows what Drake Powell can do. Like, we're not. It's not like,
Cadeau's not just a smidge overrated.
I don't think so. Let me tell you why. The reason why I don't think he is because, number one, it's yet to be seen. Uh Everybody knows that during the offseason we've seen Cadeau shooting these threes, things like that, whatever the case may be. We already know his his transition is bananas. Nobody can stay in front of him. We know that. Like, that's just a given. Everybody in the country
He
knows
was
that.
he was turnover prone last year.
He might have been, but at the same time, number one, he's a freshman. Number
True.
two, you're getting used to a transition base type team in what Carolina does. We run, 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 run. But he's fast, bro. Nobody can
Yeah.
stay in front of Cadeau. Like, anytime he wanted to get to the basket, he got to the basket. I think the thing that's yet to be seen is, can he make the three? And to be honest with you, I do believe that he's going to take that sophomore leap.
I think he will
But it
too.
is
But I don't.
but it is yeah, but it's yet to be seen. So I don't think he's overrated.
If I'm a Carolina fan sitting in your seat, I don't want to see him shooting a bunch of threes.
No,
I don't need that
want to
from
see
him.
that either. I don't want to see that either, but I want to see him start making more because it makes us an even more dangerous team.
I say this about Tyrese Proctor a lot. Just be a threat. Just be a threat. You don't have to yank up 19 a game. Just be a threat when you drive the lane and dish it. People collapse. Now you sneak out to the 3-point line and it's a kick out. Just be a threat to make that open three. I don't need to see you hitting transition threes like Jared McCain was last year.
I feel like,
That's
yeah,
not what I want.
I feel like
If
that
I'm a
about
Carolina
Withers.
fan, that's not what I want. RJ Davis, green
Yeah.
light, bro. You do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You shoot from the daggum stands
Ian,
if you want to.
yeah, Ian, same way. Ian is
Yeah,
gonna do
Ian
that.
and Drake, they got all the green lights. Green lights. Cadeau, I
Hey,
need you to do just facilitate. I need you to. I'd rather him have 19 assists than
and I
19 points.
I think like I'm gonna be honest with you. Carolina we are we might not be big in the front court, but we are a dangerous team. And a
Super
lot,
athletic, and if I'm
yeah,
telling you, it all depends on if Drake and Ian figure out how to play together. If those two can just feed off each other, and you got to try to double one or slide to one on a fast break, and the other ones, I mean, that's going to be
yeah,
mayhem. And then you
yeah.
still have RJ out there who's going to just be making behind the back shots or whatever he does.
Don't forget about Cade. Cade Tyson,
Yeah, yeah.
killer 3-point shooter. And I'll say this.
Yeah, he'll have a career high against Duke.
Who Cade?
100%. Yeah, 100%.
I hope he does. I do have an X factor. I think Jay Withers is going to be our X factor this year. I'm like you when it comes to the way that you feel about Proctor.
I got a buddy who's big on Withers, and I don't see it, but then again, I don't necessarily watch every second of every UNC. You know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't seen the highlights, I haven't seen the workouts, but he's like Withers is gonna shut people on Duke down, and I'm like, all right, well.
I think so too. You tell whoever your friend is, this is my thought on it, and
Right.
tell him to tune in to the 94 feet.
Yeah, no, I
will.
He will, I'm sure, and he's going to be talking too.
Yeah. So now that you plan on doing that, let me just break it down now. So you ain't even got to tell him that I said this, but Jay Withers, I need Jay Withers to be the leaky black. I need him. I don't need Jay Withers on offense.
Mm-mm.
He's 6'9", almost 6'10". He's the most athletic on the team. I need him to run, and defend. That's all I want Jay Withers to do. I need him to be that feared player that everybody is always looking out for. They may drive to the basket. Here comes Withers to swat it away. They may be out on the wing. Withers is out there guarding you like a leaky black, basically, or whatever. Remember, Leaky wasn't offensive; he was the defense.
No, they do the stuff, the non-glamorous stuff, the stuff that doesn't get shown on the ESPN Sports Center top 10. Like, they do the necessary evil, and that's not fun. Like, it's tough. I tell him, my kid plays football, and I tell him, I'm like, listen, you got to do the unfun stuff. Like, if you want more playing time, you got to do the stuff that nobody wants to do.
Right.
The chip blocks, the wide receiver who comes in and run blocks like that. You got to do stuff that's not going to show up in the play or in the stat sheet, because that's what you do. That's what gets you on the court. That's what gets you recognized. After that, you can do your thing. But leaky black. Theo Pinson was kind of the same way.
And that's what I need Withers for.
I think if they can get it through his head, like, he's a scary basketball player. Yeah. Because he's always gonna be in a position to get that offensive rebound. He's gonna follow that guy to the rim to get that offensive rebound, or to slap it off the board, or just, again, the unfun stuff.
Yeah. And here's the thing. A lot of people don't know that we're not big in height, but we're big in size.
You are?
I think a lot of people, I mean, we got Lubin, Vin Allen Lubin. who is just as strong as Harrison Ingram. Just as strong. And might be a little bit bigger.
I think he is taller.
Yeah, because he's 6'8", 6'9". I think Ingram was 6'7", something like
the
that.
only people under 6'6" is RJ and Cadeau, correct?
Under 6, you said under 6'6"? Nah, because Seth Trimble is 6'3".
Oh yeah, well, you don't count.
Ian is like 6'4", 6'5". Drake is like 6'5", 6'6". Those are the only ones.
I mean, that's big though. That's a long team.
Yeah. And I didn't know that Ian Jackson and Sion, they don't look the same, but they're the same height, same size. Weight is just about the same. Like, it's crazy how that looks, because I'd be like, man, Sion looks like a bulldog. And I'm like, man, he might run over Ian. But then I look at Ian's height and I look at his weight and all of that, and I look at Sion's height and weight. I'm like, the same thing. They're the same size, same height. But I mean, that's again a whole nother story.
The Duke UNC games are going to be must-see TV all year.
Absolutely,
it's going to be must-see TV.
But the kicker is going to be Tyjon Claude.
I believe that too. I think that was the most important transfer portal get that UNC has gotten, other than maybe a Harrison Ingram.
Yeah, Tyjon was a major,
especially with what happened in the offseason, and I don't even want to bring that up.
Yeah, we that's a whole nother. Yeah, we discussed that already or whatever. Yeah, but Tyjon, a lot of people don't know about Tyjon like that, man. Ty, what up? Like, I'm waiting on you, my guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, man.
I'm still mad at you, Ty. Just letting you know.
That's my guy, though, man. Shout out to Tyjon Claude, man. That's my guy right there for sure.
That was a massive get for Carolina.
Number 1 in offensive rebounds in the ACC last year. And he was eighth in minutes on his team.
6'7"?
6'8".
6'8", okay. Big guy. Football player.
Bro, he's not an offensive player, but he has this, which it goes a long way, because I mean of this, bro. If you can be number 10, top 10 in the NCAA in offensive rebounds last year, top 10 in the whole NCAA, number 1 in the ACC in offensive rebounds last year, and 8th in minutes on Georgia Tech. Wasn't even a starter.
Right.
It's massive, bro.
Yeah.
It's massive.
And the lights won't be too bright for him either. That's the crazy thing.
That's another good thing, because he already has the ACC experience, and he's a 5-year vet already. This is last year. So he's not, like you said, the bright lights and stuff. He already knows what that is. I mean, he had a big game against us in Georgia, like last year in Georgia Tech. That was our first ACC loss.
He smoked Duke.
Yeah. Gave us our first loss, but it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, D, let me ask you one more question.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna ask you one more question. From 1 to 10, how concerned are you about UNC this year? 1 being not so good, 1 being not concerned, 10 being very concerned.
It's probably sitting at a solid 8.6 to 9, because here's why. For reasons that we've already covered, by the way. RJ is going to do RJ. Ty is going to be Ty. those 6'6", 6'7" wings are absolutely dominant. There's a reason they're top 15 in the country, coming out of high school. And
Okay.
Duke and Carolina play. It's not. I don't know what just happened, but
Nah,
anyway,
you good.
yeah, like I said, once Drake Powell and Ian Jackson figure it out, and that'll be before they play Duke. Yeah, that's absolutely concerning. I mean, that's scary, and I'm not saying that Duke isn't going to figure out how to play defense and cause their own issues for UNC, but I'm not ignorant to the point where I'm not worried about UNC. You've got to be worried about them. I mean, it's UNC, and
Yeah.
like, I think this is a championship or bust year for Duke, which I don't like to say, but I mean, look at the talent that they brought in. Look at the talent that the transfer portal brought in. They got arguably one of the best backcourts in the country. I mean, and still UNC could potentially win this ACC season is wild. Like,
Yeah.
it's a solid 8.6 to a 9. And if any other Duke fan thinks otherwise, they're probably a little delusional or don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. That's okay.
I mean, that said, I still have Duke winning it.
Okay. Of course, as you should. That's your team.
But
Realistic.
no, it's up there with an 8.6 to a 9. Like, I'll also say on Duke's half, this is the best chance we have to blow out Carolina for the first time in a long time. Like, if we see a 20-point win for Duke versus Carolina, I don't think anybody's going to be shocked.
Okay. I got you. We got some things to discuss for sure.
I'm just saying, this is that year where if Duke does beat Carolina by 20, 25 points, nobody's going to be like, well, it's like, well, they had 6 NBA players out there.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the rivalry will always be forever.
Sure.
But I think the rivalry is over. Sorry. But it's Duke and Carolina. It's gonna be forever. Like, that's gonna be a forever thing. Like, that rivalry will never go away. It's the biggest rivalry in sport. Period.
Sure.
Don't care what nobody says. The rivalry is here to stay. But the rivalry is over. And it ended a few years ago.
Yeah, here we go. I knew this was going to come up. But when y'all retired Coach K?
Yeah, of course. Think about it like this. Objective.
I don't want to think about it, to be honest with you. I can't think about that objectively. I'll never get over that. But you can put on my gravestone, Dustin never got over that Final Four loss. You can put it on my gravestone.
If the roles were reversed, wouldn't y'all do the same thing? Let's be honest.
Would I make a shirt with UNC on it? No.
No. Well, no.
Let me ask you
would y'all put it in our face the same way that we do it for y'all? Would y'all come on? Let's be honest.
To a few people of my friend group who are Carolina fans, probably. To somebody who was just running their mouth, absolutely. But me and you, man to man, right now, did you really want that game to be played?
I didn't.
Absolutely not. Everybody in the world wanted that game to be played. I did not.
It depends. Which one? Wait a minute. Which one are you talking about? You talking about the last one in Cameron or the Final Four?
The Final Four.
Oh yeah, nah. I didn't want it.
That was the most anxiety-ridden week of my life.
Well, I didn't want it. I didn't want it because I agree with Jay Billis when he said it years ago that North Carolina and Duke should never meet each other in the NCAA tournament. It would take away from the rivalry. And he was right.
That's the first time they've ever been on the same side of the bracket, too.
Exactly.
They're usually like over here and over here. Like if you're gonna play each other, it'll be in a championship game.
I never wanted that. Never wanted.
I didn't either. I hope I don't ever see it again. Like y'all can keep that. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all did it. Y'all won.
Yeah.
You broke my heart twice. I hope I never have to go through anything like that again. I was awful. I think it was awful for both sides. If you're a real fan of this sport and these teams,
I think it was.
It was, and it was crazy because like usually like you pass a Carolina fan or a Duke fan like in the Food Lion parking lot or whatever, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I hope you guys lose this week." And then that week it was like, "Hey, good luck, buddy." We're shaking hands like you trying to be a senator,
right?
Hey, good luck, man. I don't want any bad. I hope the best for you guys. You know what I mean? It was so weird, bro. It was so like even the sports like radio didn't know what to do down here. It was wild.
You know, the icing on the cake would have been to win a chip that year for us.
Yeah, that's something you could really like dangle overhead. But then you go and blow a 16-point lead at halftime.
That's what I'm saying. The icing on the cake would have been if we won the chip that year and beat
That's
y'all.
Probably the only thing that allows me to sleep at night is the fact that you won the Final Four against Duke. No, I don't ever want to see it again. I'll give you that dub, but you lost the championship.
Yeah. But it does. It's a bad feeling. It's a bad
Kansas of all things, which sucks even worse because we both don't like Kansas.
I hate Kansas.
You know what I'm saying? Anything.
I hate Kansas.
Kansas, Kentucky, UConn, all of them.
Alabama, I hate them.
Arkansas.
I ain't really got a problem with Arkansas. I got a problem with Calipari. That's a topic for later, D. That's a topic
we'll talk
for
about
later.
it Thursday because I don't have any issues with Cal.
I do. I do.
Thursday we'll talk.
Yeah. We'll do that. We'll definitely do that. I ask you one last question real quick.
Let's go.
Skim through.
Mm-hmm.
Your Mount Rushmore coaches.
That is a good one. Press Maravich.
Oh,
Pete Maravich's dad. No, well, I mean, it's true. It's true.
Okay. Well, all right. Go ahead. I ain't even gonna stop because this is your Rushmore.
Coach K. We're just going basketball, right?
Yeah.
Phil Jackson.
No. College.
Only college. Okay.
Yeah.
Jim Boeheim. Billy Donovan.
Okay, so Billy Donovan, Jim Boeheim, Coach K, and Maravich?
Yeah.
I respect it, D, but what?
What do you mean what? Press Maravich changed the game.
How old was you, D, with Press Maravich?
Oh, I don't think any of us was alive.
Okay, so why do you include him?
Well, just after reading the book Pistol.
Because of nostalgia?
And learning about what he did for the game.
No. All right. Let me just he said,
all right, you go.
He said Jim Boeheim.
You don't think Jim Boeheim is up there?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
absolutely not. Nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. Top 4 coaches of all time. I do not include the Maraviches, the Woodens, the Rucks.
No.
Do not include them. Because they were ahead of my time.
Okay.
So I can't really. That's like me saying Wilt Chamberlain was the greatest basketball player of all time, but I never watched Wilt Chamberlain play. I grew up in the Jordan era. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Fair enough. Fair.
Same thing with them. But my Rushmore is Dean Smith, Coach K, Roy Williams, and Jim Calhoun. Easy. I can't even say Bobby Knight.
I'll get Roy. I'll take Roy over Dean. I mean, what did
Dean? It really changed the game.
he got us?
To me, Dean Smith is the greatest coach of all time in college. Period.
Stop.
I'm not basing it off of accolades.
Okay.
If you want to base it off of accolades, then I mean, of course, we're going to throw the Woodens in there. You know, Coach K. You know, or whatever. The most wins, 5 chips. I salute to Coach K. But if you want to talk about as far as changing the game, Dean Smith for sure. Shot clock. When you give your assist man credit and point at him after you make a basket.
Yeah,
when they run back up the court.
People don't realize that was a Dean Smith thing.
Right.
People don't realize that.
He brought in Charlie Scott, first black player to North Carolina.
I was gonna say, integrated.
I mean, yeah. So if you want to talk about somebody changing the game, it was Dean Smith. Now, does he only has 2 chips? So you can't. I mean, he was at one point for a long time the most wins. Had the most wins.
Sure.
So he has to go there. And then, like I said, Coach K, I got to go with Coach Williams, and I got to go with Jim Calhoun. Now, I put coaches on tiers. There's like
the
God
Calhoun
tier.
was confused.
Yeah, but there's certain tiers. There's God tier, top tier, mid tier, bottom tier. Your Caliparis and Boeheims, they belong on the bottom tier because I base it off of chips. A lot of the times, that's what it's based off of anyway. It's based off of chips. Calipari, 1 chip. Boeheim, 1 chip. And he coached for 40 years. I don't care about your wins. Yeah, you got them, but so what?
Well, nobody wants to go to
You ain't got but
Syracuse.
1 chip.
Nobody wants to go to Syracuse.
Okay, well, that too. But Billy Donovan's top tier. Bill Self, top tier. I can't really say Bobby Knight because that was all in the 80s. I was a baby.
Before me. Yeah, it was before me.
So I can't really put Bobby up there. Dan Hurley. He's up there.
I mean, you could throw Jimmy V up there just because he was a leader of men. Like, if he was coaching jackhammering, he'd have the best like jackhammering crew in the country. Just because people would want to make him proud, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Right. But all of the rest of them coaches, bottom tiers, man. Bottom tiers. Izzo, Scott Drew, Tony Bennett, Jay Wright belongs in that top tier.
I almost said Jay Wright.
Yeah, like if we talking about 10 years, and you only
Brad Stevens.
How many he got?
None, but But
Then he
we're
don't
not.
go out there.
But we're not talking about chips. We're just.
You have to base it off of chips. If from my criteria, from my tiers, yeah, I base it off of chips.
Okay. All right. Say less.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of people think Bill Self got more than 2, but he don't.
He barely got the 1. Like Mario
Rick
Chalmers
Pitino.
goofy ass. Like Mario
Yeah.
off the backboard type stuff.
Yeah. Ricky P.
Like he barely got 2.
I love
And I'm pretty
Pitino.
sure man, Patino is such a good coach. And he's going to be dangerous in this NIL thing too. Like stupid dangerous.
Yeah, but he got to get out of St. John.
I don't know. St. John's
I
might be in the
know
Final
he
Four in 3
loves
years.
New York. He loves New York, but
That market is flooded.
Yeah, but he needs a big market school.
But
He needs
let
a big
him take
market.
St. John's to the Sweet 16, Elite 8, something like that. And he could coach anywhere in the country.
I just don't see it. Like you know where I like to see Pitino?
He's a stupid good basketball coach. People don't like him because he's not necessarily like a good person. He's got a bad rap. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But he's a stupid good basketball coach, man.
I'd like to see Pitino, and this is gonna be crazy. But I'd like to see Pitino at Miami.
Oh, man. He'd be getting himself into trouble. You already know, bro. He'd be getting himself he'd be late for practice.
Bro, the ACC would be on fire.
I feel like
oh my God,
waiting to come back to the ACC just to cause mayhem.
Yes.
Just to cause absolute mayhem.
Or either there or Florida State.
What if he goes back to Kentucky? That'd be wild.
They ain't getting rid of Mark Pope, not with what he got going on now. And I'm about tired of him anyway, but like already. I ain't even seen him coach yet, but I'm about tired of Pope.
Didn't half of that team go with Cal to Arkansas?
Yeah. Pope reconstructed that whole team, but he just picked up Jasper Johnson, which I'm upset about. I'm upset about that. I don't care about you getting Malachi Moreno, but I'm upset about you getting Jasper. Yeah, like Jasper and Caleb Wilson came to the UNC and Duke game last season, and I mean, downright flat out enjoyed themselves on Franklin Street and everything.
Right.
And
but who doesn't enjoy themselves on Franklin Street?
My point exactly. But you turn around and you go to Kentucky. I mean, I get it. That's where you're from, but
the money, man.
But the way he talks, like it wasn't about money.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Yeah, right. I feel like Duke couldn't pay BJ Edgecombe enough. That's why he went to Baylor.
Yeah. Now I will say this: if y'all would have kept Roach,
I think that would have messed up. Like we were already talking about like how are we going to do this, minute
get rid of
dispersion
Proctor.
thing.
That's what you do.
Don't say that. Take that back. That's blasphemy. That's
blasphemy. You know what I know. You get rid of Proctor.
That's crazy.
You rather have Roach or Proctor?
Proctor.
Yeah, you bugging.
No way.
Yeah, you bugging. I'm gonna ask the guys on Thursday and see what they say.
Oh well, once you were like, yeah, I asked D about Proctor, they're gonna be like, don't ask.
So you one of those?
Bro, I am being. I drive the bandwagon for Proctor.
Oh, there it is. That's why. I get it now.
Watch him go crazy this year. Watch him. Just watch.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think he's overrated.
I know you already told me that.
He proved it last year. He had the team on his back and he dropped the ball.
Man, there were so many whiny babies on that team last year.
He fumbled, regardless. It doesn't matter about the babies and stuff on the team and all of that. He fumbled. He had a great first season, or a pretty good
He had a great second half of the first season.
Okay, there you go. Which everybody had him preseason on like All-American team.
Yeah, lottery pick type stuff. Yeah, I know.
And he dropped the ball.
Well, let's see him pick it up and run with it this year.
I think he ain't gonna have the opportunity to do that this year because now y'all got too many other weapons.
Well, I don't need him to score. I need you to.
What do you need him to do? Because Foster's going to bring the ball up the court.
I don't think so.
Proctor can't shoot.
I don't think Proctor can. He proved that last year towards the end. I think Proctor's the point guard. He's the general of the team.
We'll see.
It's going to be interesting. The coolest part about that backcourt is Foster and Proctor really get along well. Like, they're homies.
I guess that's that brotherhood mess. I don't even want to get into it though.
Hey, we'll talk about it.
I don't want to get into it. Ain't no such thing as a brotherhood when it comes to a family though. Yeah. But I digress. We ain't even gonna say nothing else about that. Let everybody know, man, where they can find you at.
You can check us out at the 5 Point Play podcast, man, on all the platforms: Spotify, Patreon, YouTube. You can follow all of us on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and Instagram at Dr. Jack 24. You know, all the 5 Point Play guys are under it. Come check us out.
That's my guy, DtheDukeFan. Make sure y'all get over there, check him out, man. You know him, Pablo, of course, as you all already know, AC, the rest of the guys over there, man, at 5 Point Play podcast, man. They're real solid guys. Like I said, I support them, even though we rivals to the death of us or whatever. But you know, it is what it is. It's friendly competition.
Absolutely.
Got a really good show coming up on Thursday. Well, no, we'll figure it out. Got a show coming up with them. Just know that.
It's gonna be good.
No, as a matter of fact, got a show coming up with them tonight. That's what it is. I'm bugging D, but got a show with the guys over on 5 Point Play tonight. I think it's 8:00. I got to get with AC, find out what time or whatever. But you know, we'll figure all of that out. So make sure y'all come on over there, check me out later on tonight. You know, whatever. Ride with me on there because I'll be on there with a whole bunch of Duke fans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you better get some backup.
Yeah. But I can handle them all on my own. I can handle it. It is.
It's all in good
But
fun.
listen, D, man, I appreciate you for sure stopping by, man. You know, this is going to be the first of many. It's not going to be the one-time stop. Like anytime you want to stop by the Zell Dome, man, just to chop it up a little bit. If you want a little friendly debate back and forth, you need to vent about things, whatever the case may be.
Say less.
Hey, you can always come home, man, and well,
say less.
I don't know if I want to call it home because we don't really allow Dukies in here like that. But you know,
I get what you're saying, though.
You know what I mean, bro. You know what I mean.
I like chopping it up about basketball. I don't care if you're a Carolina fan.
It's always love, my God. Always love. Always love. For sure. Everybody, man, make sure that, like I said, y'all go and follow all of his contact information and everything, social stuff, whatever, will all be in the description. Make sure y'all get out there. Make sure y'all go and follow him. And like I said, support the guys over there at 5 Point Play Podcast. Like I said, man, I got merch coming. 94 Feet of UNC podcast. So
I might have to get one of those and put it on the wall, man, just because of you.
We're gonna make it happen. That's all you got to do. But until then, we're gonna rock with y'all.